Beautiful. Now you may wonder why I'm wearing this life jacket. It's because it's law in Victorian waters. In this size craft, I must wear a PFD at all times. I pull the cord if I go in, I inflate and bob around until someone finds me. Believe it or not, just leaving the boat ramp and coming here, if I didn't wear one, I'd be breaking the law. It's a good thing though, because I'll get home alive. Hey Phil.
G'day Paul.
Great to see you, mate.
It's a pleasure to be here and take you out on my little bit of fishing area here, mate. And as you can see today, the weather is just brilliant.
It is a beautiful day for it, and this is Paradise, Inverloch, Victoria. And I'm fishing with Big Phil because he's a local, and we always like to talk to the locals. Phil, you know this area fairly well?
Well, I was brought up here, Paul. I've been fishing here for probably 30 years with my father, and I've sort of learnt myself from a lot of the local experts too. And I'm pretty confident today that we'll get a really good feed of whiting.
Now I think we're going to catch a lot of whiting because Phil said a big feed of whiting. What is a big feed of whiting to you, Phil? 400?
Probably about a dozen fillets.
Now, I did say that you have to wear a life jacket. Phil is wearing his internal life jacket because I don't actually build one to fit you, mate.
No, so if I fall over, Paul, you're coming too.
Well, I tell you what, you've got to practice the procedure first. So if we go in, it's like this. Does that comfort you?
Beautiful.
Let's go fishing, mate.
Let's fish, mate. On the bank over there. That's all weed.
So, low tide, beautiful sandbar, and Phil, this is where we get our bait.
What we're going to try and do is get some what we call bass yabbies.
And there's our bass yabbies, look at them. 1, 2, there's a nice one. Look at that, there are bass yabbies. I'll give them a clean.
A little bit small, Paul.
They are bass yabbies and they're a brilliant bait. They're filter feeders that live in these sand flats. And as you have seen in the past, King George whiting, bream, estuary perch, they just love them.
Will we have a wager on the first fish?
Let's.
What will it be, mate?
How much money am I giving you?
Well, guess what?
Oh, Phil, turn it up.
Well, since you're my guest, Paul.
Look at that for a beautiful King George whiting. Phil, a lot of people have said a lot of things about you, but they haven't said what a gun angler you are. Now, oh look, I've got another one. Phil, it's 2 love.
Trouble is, it didn't take the secret weapon.
That is unreal. Beautiful King George whiting. Their scientific name is Seligonode punctatus, but I just like to think of them as extra nice eaters. Well, Phil, I didn't have time to have a shower this morning before I left, but I'm definitely having a bath now. Look at that.
Another beautiful whiting. Now, Paul, the reason we're catching fish like this is from what the state government did on buying back all the licences, and you can see the benefits of stopping people from netting our beautiful inlets.
And now you can take your mum, your dad, your kids, your grandma, grandfather out here and enjoy awesome fishing in the state of Victoria. And here we have a beautiful King George whiting. Gee, I love him, Phil. As you were saying before, out wahoo and all those fish. Look at that fish in the current.
Absolutely brilliant.
I've caught some pretty big fish, like 60 billfish and every tuna. But when you see a whiting like that, it is exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That is a big fish too.
I think that one should go back.
I reckon we could let this fish go, mate? That is.
It's too big to kill that one. That is an absolutely brilliant whiting.
That's a big whiting, mate. He'd be close to 40 centimetres.
Close, very close, yes.
40 centimetres of King George whiting. Look at those gold spots. I'm talking of spots, I've put the spotters back on, and I can see now so clearly the channel that's running out down here. I was casting over there in no man's land. I'm back on the edge of the weed. Phil, you're getting a bite, by the way. I saw that out of the corner of my eye, and this whiting is going back. Now don't tell your mates we're here because we're having fun. There you go, off you go. Now watch how quick this fish is. And away you go. Just a beautiful, beautiful fish. And if you look at the colour of a whiting, their back is that dark colour. So when predators look down, they get lost in the weed, the dark colour. Their belly is white. So when predators look up, they get lost in the clouds. Very clever system, Mr. Whiting. Fishing trips aren't just about catching fish. They are an adventure, and this is an adventure, as you can see. It's just us, the crocodiles, and some nice barramundi. If you get the opportunity, get together with some mates, take the family, and go on a great fishing trip. This is what life is all about. We work hard, we stress out, we try and earn a quid. Make sure you enjoy it, because this is a beautiful thing and one of my favourite things. He's into it again.
It's not too long between bites at the moment, and this one's really shaking his head. Do you want to catch another one?
No, I'm happy just to watch and enjoy it. Luckily, it's such a beautiful morning. I'm happy to enjoy the scenery.
Oh,
double header. Look at this, Phil. You are the man. Oh. Look at that.
I explained to Paul this morning that I prefer to use an extra hook.
I'm running out of hands, Phil, but...
Not so much to catch two fish, but one seems to work against the other and it makes the fish bite. But,
how good is that? We just put a little leader on there on the paternoster. You said the squid fires them up and they eat the yabby. Oh, go Phil!
Paul's right, nearly went over.
Now, I'm busy, mate, so you better catch that one. This...
Oh, you're going to claim the double header?
This is just a King George Whiting bonanza. And these are good fish, let me tell you. The legal size for King George Whiting Victoria is 27 centimetres. This brings a whole new meaning, Phil, to having my hands full. Oh! Nearly got out. I'm just going to measure this guy. My measuring stick's here. That fish is 38 centimetres. Geez, the one you caught's only tiny, Phil. My two were huge.
Can you hang on to that for a minute, please?
No dramas, mate.
Okay.
Oh, that is going. How good are those light rods, mate?
Oh, look at this. Again. Wow.
How good is Big Phil's whiting spot? And they are serious whiting. The trouble is, mate, I mean, do you think I make a good deckhand?
I think you make an excellent deckhand.
And does it pay good money?
Wow.
These are as good a King George Whiting, we'll get rid of that one,
Thanks, Rob.
as you'd really hope to catch in this area. They fish up around that 35 to 38. Some of these fish do get up to 50. They are up there with the best eating fish in the whole free world, aren't they, mate?
For sure.
Couple of nice fillets of King George Whiting. You just can't beat it. There's only one thing better, and that's spending some good time out here on the water with a fishing mate or a friend. That doesn't make sense. With a fishing mate or a member of the family. It is the best thing you can do standing up.
These are a fish that I like to bring the kids out with, Paul. They just absolutely have the best time of their life.
They are cracker fish. They fight well, they hit hard. They actually aren't too bad on the chew if you cut the red bloodline out of the flesh. And they are called Arapus trutta, or Australian salmon as they are more commonly known. And they are a beautiful little fighter. And I can tell you that thousands of people line these shores every year because they come through my Tackle World store in Cranbourne to come down and catch these fish off the beach. Look at that. Come to me, mate. And in she goes.
Well done.
That is sensational, Phil. Look at that little bomber. Now, most people think bombers are only barramundi lures, but they're actually salmon lures as well. Look at that, mate. Perfect pilchard imitation, hey?
Beautiful.
Now, I could be wrong, but I'd say this fish is fairly well hooked. That's a serious pound of salmon in it, mate. Just getting a bite, Phil. They're coming on again. Gotcha! I tell you what, local knowledge is everything. And at Tackle World, we always say...
You got it all right.
Hook up with a local. No, look at this!
Double header.
Oh, Phil! This is gold! I've finally reached the pinnacle. Look,
You got my brother.
I've got Phil on the bottom hook and Paul on the top hook. Hey, Phil! Just hold it there. Hey, Phil, what's it like hanging down there, mate?
Very funny.
Gotcha! It's just little bites, Phil.
Yeah.
Tiny, almost toadfish type bites.
Then move it and bang.
Yep, and then they come in. It's a whiting. I can tell by the way it's shooting down towards the engine there. And just tap, 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 bang. What have we actually got there? It's a nice whiting. Ooh, tiniest of little bites. Oh, and he's having a go. He's having a go at the boat here. There's still, look at that. Oh, he's giving me a bit of curry, this bloke. I tell you what, whiting for small fish, they have got some serious poo-tang. Oh, and this guy just does not want to give up. And that is a nice fish. That is a beautiful whiting. Oh, that is a cracker King George whiting. Look at the size of that. And while you're here, we'll bring it over to the fish ruler. Put the head on 0. And the tail is just on 37 centimetres. That's a nice fish. Beautiful. You can see he's been eating lots of mud down the bottom there. That is just gold. Literally King George whiting gold. Phil, this is just too good.
Oh, look at this, mate.
Oh, more King George whiting.
How good's that?
Well, I have to just say that this is one of the best whiting trips I've had for a long time.
Yep.
Phil and I have been mates for a long time, and Phil, I must say, pleasure to go fishing with you today, mate.
Pleasure's been all mine, Paul.
Love your work. This is Anderson's Inlet, Inverloch, Victoria. If you want to know more details, log on to ifishtv.com.au.